Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog. Labyrinth is this game's water level, so we're in for a fun time. And right at the start I do want to point out a very nice piece of level design. In the top right corner you can just see poking out from the block the snout of a burrow bot. Those are going to be spread throughout the zone, always lurking below the surface waiting to catch you by surprise. But that very first one, because it was at the top of a little staircase, we would naturally be in our jump when we hit it, so it's harmless. And that's a very nice way to introduce the player to what they are, what they do, without the game feeling like it's holding your hand. So those air bubbles will come up throughout the zone. They give you more time underwater, of course. Although here we're going to get out very quickly. That was just a short underwater section. We'll have a much longer one soon. And here I'm going to show a very nice shortcut. So if you want to activate the shortcut, make sure you kill those two fish badniks on the way down, because they can be very annoying on the way back up. Let these rings show you where to land on the floor here. Now this switch opens this door, but it also triggers a platform up above, and we can get to it by triggering that rising platform. And now we have a shortcut that will take us all the way to the end of the zone if we choose to take it. Moving on, there are several more of these rising platforms. This is another act where you want to be careful with rings, because there are exactly 106 available, so get all the ones you can to have a good shot at that extra life. These balls on chains are not very threatening because there's a large safe spot in the middle. So it's really only when you're in the middle of your jump that they can hit you. Don't jump on these platforms, because there's a spike trap directly above. Instead use these ones and repeatedly jump up to get to this button, which opens a door in the lower left. And now we have some retracting lances. You want to go past while they're retracted, of course, but the timing is pretty tight, so they can be very scary. So here you really want to get the timing right so that you have a good run up. And here there's another little tutorial-y bit. If you just wait here, the cork will rise and take you with it, which is no threat here, but those will be dangerous later on when there are spikes above them, or even just a solid ceiling. And over to the left is our first Orbinaut. So these are very annoying badniks. They shoot their 4 spike balls. Sorry about that, I just paused to answer the door. So at the top of this shaft there are a couple of spitting gargoyles, so jump off as soon as the end of the ride comes in sight. Don't be on that block when it goes up. The burrow bots in this narrow corridor are especially annoying. And here you do want to stop for this bubble so as not to be panicked for time in the last part. But there's just 2 more of these spheres to get past. And I do want to show this off. Over to the left here is where the shortcut comes out, like I pointed out earlier. As you can see, right at the end of the act. And there's no special stage ring because we already got all 6. Of course, it would be there if we didn't. So we're on to Act 2, which is quite a bit easier than Act 1 because it has 2 or 3 invincibility monitors that will carry us through large chunks. Here's the first one. This act is not as tight for rings, so I will not stop for every ring I come across. But you do want to get water, air there, because you can still drown while invincible. And here we're in a very large chamber that has an out-of-water section. So the thing to do if you want all the rings, let that spring carry you right up to the top. Get this shield and then go around in a clockwise direction. Now, above me and to the right, that's the exit, but it's closed. And if you're hunting around this room for an opening switch, it's actually hidden very unusually under the ring monitor. Oops. So over to the right here is our second invincibility. The thing to do with these is of course to run as fast as you can to cover as much ground while invincible as possible. This bit's rather scary, but if you go to the left, so the Orbinaut is off screen, it will stop firing its balls, and when it comes back it will have lost them all. Same with this one, you can off screen it to reduce the... Oh, okay, it still had one left. And here you need to jump from one chain of moving platforms to the other to avoid the spikes. No spitting gargoyles, this time we are at the end of the act. So Act 3 is especially long and difficult. At the start you want to take these burrow bots slowly, don't try to multi-bounce them because of the low ceiling. And this waterfall is actually an infinite loop. The way out of it, rather counterintuitively, is to hold the right directional button and jump. There are 2 places you can do that. One gets you the shield, the other one escapes from the loop. And down here, make sure you get these rings before hitting the switch that opens the gate at the bottom, because that will make them inaccessible. Down here is a rather infamous shortcut. In the middle of this bridge, this cork will sink into the bottom chamber, and if you let that carry you down, you end up on a much quicker and easier path through the act. But the top route has the extra life monitor, so we're going that way. The spikes here are rather nasty, especially the second step, which you can't really get much of a run up, but there is enough time to get across them. And here's more of these spike balls on chains. As usual, take advantage of the fact that the middle is completely safe. And here's another of these moving platform loops. But if you take it the wrong way, you can find this little secret chamber with an extra life monitor, the only one in Labyrinth. And just like the one in Marble Zone, you need to find that secret to get enough rings for 100. Over here there is an invincibility. And if we had followed the moving platforms to the middle of the spikes, that switch triggers our exit from the chamber. Weirdly, you can just walk across this one, there's no water current. There is another invincibility at the end. And I do apologise for using these invincibilities so much. It is spoiling the Labyrinth Zone music, which is one of my favourite pieces of music in the game. There's a replacement shield here if you lost one earlier. So just be careful here, take your time. At the end of this section we go above the water, so it really doesn't matter if the countdown starts. Yet another moving platform section. This time you want to jump off, which reverses the direction. It's the only way you can get across a large bed of spikes here. You can just see them protruding underneath. Here you can multi-bounce these. And this takes us to the last checkpoint before the boss. And you can also see this is where the shortcut comes out. Now, one thing is, you might actually want to avoid this checkpoint because there are no rings between here and the boss. So if you die to the boss, you'll be facing him without rings. Hop across these court platforms. The first two go up into spikes. If you fall off them though, go back to the left of that chamber, which does mean triggering the checkpoint. And the cork platform, the water will fall again and you have another chance at the corks. Don't miss this shield, because this is a difficult boss. You want that extra chance to hit. So this is a very unusual boss for the series. Instead of having to hit Dr. Robotnik's machine, we just have to chase after it. And the main hazard is the spikes, spitting gargoyles, and of course the rising water. So let's have fun. Take it slowly because you only have twice that you can afford to be hit. First time you'll lose the shield, second time rings. The water feels like it's a bigger threat than it really is. And there, finally, you get to see what happens if you lose your rings in this game. Although I did manage to recollect one of them, which is something that's worth noting. You can recollect your rings, or some of them at least, and get another chance at a hit. Anyway, that is the end of Labyrinth, finally. So next week we're on to Starlight Zone. See you then, and thanks for watching.